Guys, before we get started into today's episode, I just want to take a second and pause and wish all the amazing women who are listening right now a happy Women's Day. And even those who may never hear this but are still making waves in their own quiet ways, today we are reminded of your strength, right? We are reminded of your resilience and the impact that you have by showing up in society as yourself. So, whether you are leading from the front, working behind the scenes, or just figuring it out one step at a time, you matter, you're seen, and we celebrate you today and always. So, on behalf of this Maybe Nothing, which is mainly just me, happy Women's Day to all the ladies out there. Guys and girls, welcome back to another episode of This May Be Nothing. I would like to believe that this is slowly starting to feel like your favorite podcast. You know, the podcast where we spiral together, where we reflect, we double back, and we somehow stumble on something that makes emotional sense. How we get there, I'm not entirely sure, but I'm so grateful that we do. And if we have not met, my name is Diana. I'm the host of the show, and I am also your favorite soft life strategist, your on again, off again minimalist, and your deeply conflicted subscription hoarder. And today's episode, I called it You Don't Own That, and maybe you never did, because we are diving into the quiet anxiety of living in a world where everything is a subscription, from the music we listen to the movies we watch, to furniture and cars, and even our own creativity. We are going to be talking about the death of ownership and the myth of permanence, the subtle grief of paying for things you never really get to call yours. And most importantly, how this shift is quietly shaping the way we live, the way we work and spend our own money, and even relate to ourselves. So I don't know what you guys are doing, whether you're cleaning the house, folding some laundry, washing the car, guys, let's spiral together. Before we get into it, I just want to share a show that I've been watching on Netflix called Marked. And if you saw it and you're like, oh my goodness, so many people are hyping it up, they're hyping it up for a reason. Because let me tell you something, chef's kiss. What a wow. Just to give you like a brief overview, this is what it says on Google. Desperate to pay for her daughter's life-saving surgery, devoted ex-cop Babalwa turns to an unholy savior to help her stage a daring heist. And let me tell you something. What a wow. What a wow. What is the actress's name here? Hold on. Lerato Velase did such an amazing job in the show. Like, oh, this girl raised my blood pressure. She really did. She raised my blood pressure so high. And it's been a minute since a show like this got me excited. But yeah, now that we're talking about Netflix and shows, let's start simple. There was a time where you could walk into a store, buy something, walk out, knowing that that thing was yours. It's yours. No one can take it away from you. You would save up money for that CD or a DVD and hold it in your hands. And then you'd even keep it in that shelf. You guys know those towers where you could keep all the CDs, like you could stack them nicely. It was like an organized shelf, tower rather, where you put the CDs in. And then if you were OCD, you would place the CDs in alphabetical order so that if you wanted to go and listen to Celine Dion, you knew exactly where the Celine Dion CD was. And even like, they even had the same equivalent for like DVDs and even cassettes. Like it was such a time. And they were always right next to the TV stand. Now that I think about it, they're quite the eyesore, but back in the day, it made sense. Like it made so much sense. You know, those things belonged to you. And now we don't even own music, we stream. We don't own films, we rent access to them. And we don't even own software. We pay monthly licensing fees. We don't even own our phones outright. They are often leased, locked into contracts, or traded in every 2 years. Everything is a service and everything just feels temporary. Everything is pay to access, but not pay to own. And at some point, we just stopped talking about it. We stopped questioning it, and it just became our new normal. Let's get one thing clear. Subscriptions aren't all that bad, right? Subscriptions can be convenient. They give you access to more for less upfront. And in all honesty, there's something undeniably freeing about that. When everything lives in some invisible cloud in the internet skies, it keeps your shelves clear, your storage clean, and your life a little lighter. No stacks of DVDs on that tower thing, no folders full of pirated MP3s. Yeah, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. You remember those little those those cases, the ones that had the CD sleeves in them? Yeah, none of that. We don't do they even still make do they make those things? I doubt it. It is access when you want it and silence when you don't. Think of it as minimalism digitalized and yeah, a whole world of stuff you don't have to physically hold on to. So no, I don't think subscriptions are all that bad. If anything, they're quite helpful. Subscriptions can simplify your space, your load, and even your life. And for some of us, including myself, that is peaceful, right? Knowing very well that there isn't a tower of DVDs stacked against a shelf or next to my bed or something crazy like that. But when we're being honest, that type of access is fragile. It's conditional. There's all these T's and C's and it's easily revoked. Your Spotify account disappears, you lose all your playlists. Your Netflix removes your favorite shows, they're all gone. If Adobe changes its pricing, suddenly your work tools are locked behind a paywall, and we think we're building libraries and workflows and lifestyles when in actual fact, we're just building dependencies on systems that don't belong to us. And they don't owe us permanence. And when those systems fail or decide to shut us out, you're often left with nothing. No refund, no explanation, and no real control. So while the subscription model may declutter your home, it can also quietly clutter your peace of mind. When we think about it, there's something emotional about ownership, something grounding. Like owning a house used to mean roots, or owning a car meant independence. Now, in Cyril's economy, you have to choose one. Owning books and CDs and photo albums meant memories and identity and even taste. There's a reason why physical objects carry so much weight. You remember where you were when you got those things. They age with you. They mark time and they last. But now we've traded permanence for convenience and we tell ourselves that this is progress. And you know what? Maybe it is. Maybe it really is progress. But maybe we're also grieving something we haven't fully named. So let me ask you this question because I was confronted with it quite heavily. Do you know how many things you're subscribed to? Like, do you really know? Streaming platforms, cloud storage, fitness apps, skincare boxes, Canva, Spotify, Adobe, Dropbox, Calm, Headspace, Uber, Pass, and even Amazon Prime, like even digital journaling apps, our meal plans. And if you're that type of person that likes to look out at the stars and find out where Orion's belt's even, yeah, those things, all of it is subscriptions. They sneak in quietly and we think we can manage it, right? 89 rand here, 150 rand there, until suddenly your bank account is bleeding out every single month and you still feel like you own nothing. So on this podcast, I use a platform called Epidemic Sound for royalty-free music. And when I first got on there, so they give you like a 30-day free trial, and I was loving it. It was just music of the music that just sounded so cool. And I was like, ooh, let me do this. In the next 30 days, I'm going to download all the songs that I like, right? And what's cool about their platform is that they've got AI that remixes the songs for you. So you can turn a 3-minute sound clip into 30 seconds. And it does it quite nicely. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to download all the songs. I'm going to download all the remixes. I'm going to download all the short clips and the long clips and all of that. And then when I actually got onto it, I realized that there are thousands of soundtracks to choose from, thousands of sounds to pick from. And I was like, you know what? Maybe 160 Rand, depending on the US Rand exchange rate, maybe 150, 160 Rand isn't that bad per month to get royalty free music. Okay, that's all right. Until I was blindsided and they took their money after the 30 days ended and they took their money. And I remember just looking at my phone like, yo, I was so defeated. It just feels like we're renting joy and we're leasing efficiency and paying to keep the illusion of convenience afloat. That's what it really feels like. If anything, this is capitalism's favorite trick, okay? Make you feel like you're getting more while actually giving you less. Lower the upfront fee, keep you hooked, make it hard to cancel, make it emotionally expensive to opt out. And when you try to leave, they remind you that you have not owned a single thing in the first place. You were just borrowing it until your card declines or your trial expires. And the system profits from your ongoing need, not your independence. You're not a customer to them. You're more like a tenant. And you know what? It doesn't even stop with just things. I feel like we've started to feel like we don't own ourselves either. We rent out our labor to companies, contract to contract, freelance to freelance. And if you are a creative out there, you know this pain. We rent our creativity on platforms that monetize our content and give us nothing back if the algorithm shifts. Even online, our identities are tied to logins and screen names, follow counts, all managed by systems that can ban, suspend, shadow ban, delete without warning. It feels like we're leasing our lives on terms we didn't actually set. And honestly, it feels like we're just floating. Like instability, like things can be taken away at any time, and often they are. It feels like building a house on rented land. You decorate the house, you nest, but you never really settle. It creates this low level anxiety. What if I lose access? What if they change the rules? And boy, do they like changing the rules. As a matter of fact, there have been a number of platforms that a lot of content creators use that have changed their terms and conditions. And now they have full right to use your intellectual property for whatever they want. And there's nothing you can do. And so the whole scrambling of finding other platforms to just share files or share content or share or create content even and still feeling like, hey, I own this piece of creativity, it's starting to become draining. Like we're no longer creatives out there that use, for example, CapCut and they change their terms and conditions, or WeTransfer, they also change their terms and conditions. They can basically use your stuff without your knowledge and you can't do anything about that. It genuinely makes even joy feel conditional. So you're probably asking, because I definitely did, what do we still own? Is it our time? Maybe, but even that gets bought up by productivity apps and hustle culture. Maybe it's our memories, sure, but even those live in the cloud now. And God forbid your phone gets stolen with all the pictures that you didn't save on iCloud. Gone. Maybe it's our friendships, and I hope it is. But so many of those are sustained by apps we don't actually own. It's disorientating to realize that almost everything you rely on, from music to documents to emotional support, exists on a server you have absolutely no control over. Maybe the answer isn't to reject technology, but maybe it's just to become more intentional, to ask questions like, what do I want to own again? What do I want to protect from impermanence? Where am I okay with renting and where do I want roots? Maybe it's about creating space, physical or digital, that is ours, that belongs to us. Buying fewer things but choosing them carefully, backing up memories where it's more tangible, letting your playlist live with you, not only in the cloud that could glitch. Maybe it's about remembering that value doesn't always come from what's new, but rather from what lasts. So, yeah, guys, I have been thinking a lot about this, and this may be nothing, but the real loss isn't the stuff. Maybe it's the sense that nothing we have really belongs to us. We don't own music, we don't own the tools, we don't even own the version of ourselves we perform online. And somehow we've started to accept that. But what would it look like to reclaim something? Not everything, just one small thing that you can say, this is mine and this is going to stay. This doesn't depend on a password. Think about that. And while you do, I will catch you on the same mic, the same spiral, same small rebellion next time. Cheers, guys.